and welcome to the video series about Yakamoz, Cosmo's mirror, where we're going to be getting into the details and backgrounds, information about this story. So today we're going to be talking about alchemy. Alchemy is a huge subject in Yakamoz. Of course, Cosmo, our primary character, is an alchemist himself, and the whole story even has an alchemical structure, which we'll be getting into in the next couple of weeks. So alchemy itself is the study of transformation and transmutations. Most people know about the idea of trying to turn base metals into gold or creating the Philosopher's Stone, though what the Philosopher's Stone does is hotly debated. But what most people don't realize is the intense level of symbolism that's present in alchemy. They love the idea of the union of opposites. You have like life and death, the sun and the moon, male and female, the union of opposites in even the elements. Much of the symbolism that comes into our modern world actually comes from alchemy. So the basic idea is that if you can break something down into its component parts and rearrange them, then you should be able to create new substances. Sounds all mystical and mysterious, but actually if you took physics, you should be thinking about atomic theory right now. Basically, the same thing that happens in a nuclear reactor, that's alchemy, just achieved in a different way. So the known origins of alchemy begin with this piece of literature called the Emerald Tablet, or the Emerald Table, which is allegedly written by a man named Hermes Trismegistus, who is the supposed founder of Hermeticism, this wisdom tradition that eventually brings us down to influencing people like Socrates and Plato. So the reason we even have access to this piece of literature is because Isaac Newton, the Apple guy, he translated it. Hundreds of other works have been written about alchemy, but it's hard to know what alchemists actually taught because so much of it is written in symbols and art and imagery, and it makes it beautiful, which is a huge chunk of why we decided to use it so much in Yakamoz. But at the same time, it's super complicated. But despite these mysteries, alchemy is actually deeply ingrained in the creation of the scientific era that we live in today. I mean, dozens of scientists and thinkers from the Renaissance and the Enlightenment were alchemists. Thomas Aquinas, Isaac Newton, Roger Bacon, Nicholas Flamel, not the one from Harry Potter, Robert Boyle, the list goes on and on. Not only was alchemy a major pursuit in Europe, but in Asia they were making huge advances in this area as well. And then the cross-pollination between the two continents led to incredible breakthroughs in all sorts of medical and scientific areas. In fact, some of the Islamic alchemists in particular were writing beautiful texts about this art. And in fact, it's these Islamic alchemists that leads our protagonist, Cosmo, to Constantinople in hopes of uncovering some of the mysteries from that time. So that's about it for our Blitz overview of alchemy. I really just skimmed across the surface, so you'll want to come back next week when we talk more about four-stage alchemy and also how that plays out in science and literature. If you are a Dante fan, we'll be diving into the Divine Comedy, so you will not want to miss out. Alright, talk to you next week!